Organic foods versus processed foods. Organic foods are a major step in the right direction towards a healthier nation, while at the same time they shift the emphasis back on quality versus quantity. So picture this. You're in a store and you see onions on sale, 2 for 99 cents. So you put them in your basket and you walk further in the produce aisle and you see the organic section. And you find the same onion, but these are $2. So you ask yourself, why are they $2? Are they safer, more nutritious for me? There are several differences between organic and processed foods that exist. Everyone as a consumer should be informed of what they're putting into their bodies and feeding their children. Organic farming not only is easier on the environment, but produces a healthier, disease-free product. Organic farming mechanisms are designed to conserve water, reduce pollution, and protect the environment, unlike the conventional way of farming, which is more focused on mass production. In this chart that I show you as my visual aid, you will see the list of conventional farming mechanisms versus organic farming mechanisms. Traditional farmers use chemical fertilizer, which is artificially made. Many of these fertilizers contain acid that can be harmful to the soil and potentially stunt plant growth. A number of chemical fertilizers have a high acid content. Acids in chemical fertilizers like sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid result in the destruction of nitrogen-fixing bacteria to the microorganism that plays a key role in supplying a growing plant's nitrogen needs. One of the most popular seeds used by a conventional farmer today is known as the Roundup Ready seed, which is basically a seed with the Roundup fertilizer already in it. This was created due to the fact that the government regulates the number of times that a conventional farmer can fertilize their crops. So if they have a seed with the Roundup already in it, then that fixes that problem. Some studies since the seed has come out have shown that there is a massive reduction of the bee population. This is because the bees do what nature intended them to do. They go and they feed on the flowers. The flowers have the Roundup Ready seed in them, and then the bees, they go off and die. Organic farming excludes and strictly limits the use of synthetic fertilizers and synthetic pesticides. It also reduces plant regulations, livestock antibiotics, food additives, and genetically modified organisms. Organic farmers use animal manure to help provide oxygen to their crops. They also use a method called intercropping, which is sometimes used for insect and disease control and can increase soil nutrients. Techniques for controlling weeds have varied between hand pulling the weeds, mulch, cornmeal. They use garlic and clove oil. They also use a method called solarization, which is where they put a humongous plastic bag over this plant, let the sun solarize it for 4 to 6 weeks. This increases plant growth, and pretty much the insects are nowhere to be found. It's very organic and natural. A way that they manage insects is they pretty much ignore them and they focus on plants' health. A plant can survive the loss of about a third of the leaf before they even suffer. So they pretty much let nature take its course. They also use a method called sticky traps and other various types of traps which are inhumane way. Processed foods have been linked to many Crohn's diseases and health conditions that are plaguing our nation. The World Health Organization says processed foods are to blame for the sharp rise in obesity seen around the world. Processed foods, known as fat-acting carbohydrates, contain a very high level of glucose. The brain is very dependent on glucose, and too much glucose can cause diabetes, and too little can be an immediate threat to survival. Many processed foods contain trans fatty acids, which is a dangerous type of fat. Trans fatty acids tend to raise the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, and they lower the HDL, which is the good cholesterol. These changes may increase the risk of heart disease, according to the American Heart Association. A 7-year study was conducted at the University of Hawaii with 200,000 people, and they found that those that ate processed meats such as hot dogs, sausage, and lunch meat ham had a 67% higher risk of pancreatic cancer than those who ate organic meats. So basically, all this information I've provided with you, farming organically is better for not only the environment, but more importantly for the consumer. Eliminating processed foods is crucial to maintaining an effective, progressing society. More Americans need to choose organic foods for themselves and their families. Otherwise, for the first time in human history, parents will begin to outlive their overweight, obese children. Are there any questions?
Do organic foods have the same shelf life as processed foods?
Organic foods meet the same quality and safety standards as conventional foods. The difference lies in how the food is produced, processed, and handled. You may find that organic fruits and veggies spoil faster because they're not treated with waxes or preservatives.
Does all natural mean the same as organic?
All natural, free range, or hormone free are descriptions that are important to some consumers, but they do not confuse them with the term organic. Only those foods grown and processed according to the USDA organic standard can be labeled organic, and those will have this USDA organic seal. And basically, foods that have more than one ingredient, such as breakfast cereal, are allowed to use the USDA seal depending on the number of organic ingredients in that product. And products that are certified 95% organic are allowed to use the USDA seal on their products. That's all. Thank you.